Hey y'all, it's Kobe R. Rice, and I'm back again, not with another weekly creative update, but with a happy birthday to me update. Um, and I'm not actually only coming on here just to like toot my horn about it being my birthday. This is a podcast that's going to be pretty short, but it's something that I want to get into the habit of doing, which is doing a yearly gratitude and just reflection podcast on each birthday. I wasn't sure if I had done one last year, and I went back and I checked in my playlist, and I actually did record a happy birthday podcast last year. It was not necessarily about gratitude. It did have gratitude in there, but it was more so me reflecting on life and self care. And because I see birthdays pretty much as everyone's personal new year, like it's literally your personal new year. Um, and because my birthday pretty much falls at the halfway point of every single year, just about, I mean, just shy of, 2 days of the halfway point. It's for me, a really special time of the year because it's my personal new year. It is the halfway point of the fiscal year. And those two things together have a really interesting 6 month overlap, which I find to be pretty perfect. So I'm always usually able to look at all the things that I've done for my fiscal year up until the halfway point of the current year. But then I'm also able to look back on the entire past personal year from June 28th, 2017, all the way until today, 2018. And so the first thing I wanted to do was just literally publicly express all of the gratitudes that basically keep me looking forward, keep me grateful and happy and humble about the great things that are happening in my life, no matter what else is going on. And the first thing I wanted to start with is that I am extremely grateful for my health and the health of the people who I love in my life. That's on different levels. That's on the physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, give or take. Some of us are a little more crazy than others, but still, like I'm still happy that for the most part, most of us are in our right minds. Um, and for just the positivity that I feel from most of the people that are in my life. And it's funny kind of how the universe works because I think at the beginning of this month there was some drama and negativity trying to encroach upon my life, and a combination of my own personal growth plus serendipity plus guardian angels looking out for me helped to cut that negativity out, or at least to put boundaries up wherein, like, okay, I'm going to love and support you and engage with you negative energy because you need some rehabilitation, but I'm also going to protect myself. And even in those situations, I still wish everyone and all things, happiness and rainbows and sunshine and all that wonderful stuff. So that's the other thing that I'm really grateful for. The fact that things seem to happen at a really interesting sort of divine timing that I'm just noticing. Okay? And you guys know, again, I'm not a religious person, but I am a pretty spiritual person. Um and though I don't have like a sharply defined spiritual practice, like I do spend time, at least a little bit of time every day, connecting to something that is not in the physical realm of self or in the world. And I've just been seeing a lot of very interesting karmic things happening. Knowledge being dropped at certain points in my journey. Just things that I cannot possibly control, just popping up to give me more illumination and just to give me all this serendipitous interaction, which is, I believe, working out to push me towards my higher good. So anyway, before this podcast gets too woo-woo, I'm just going to stop there and just express my gratitude to the universe. Third gratitude, my beautiful, wonderful, very prissy, always wanting to be a princess daughter. I love her. She's amazing. She is the light of my entire existence. Without her, there would be no light. There would only be darkness, honestly. And this is coming from someone who never thought that she would have children. Like wasn't even planning to have children. But again, certain things happen that we don't plan for, and she was the best, most wonderful, unplanned, surprise, delightful event that's ever happened to me, and one that I am not regretful of. And that is despite the fact that I had a lot of challenges with motherhood when I first discovered that I was going to become a mom. And, I eventually do want to get my single mom creative podcast up and running at the Dollhouse, which is the philanthropic arm of Rebel Ragdoll, as you guys know. Or rather, it will be that. And I do want to have that podcast where we get that podcast/vlog where we get just really real about not just the great things about being a mom, but like the most horrible, terrible things about being a mom. Because a lot of us don't feel comfortable admitting the challenges or admitting the fact that motherhood sucks, which it does. It sucks because you're not able to really focus on yourself and your needs. You're constantly pretty much essentially enslaved to another human being's needs, at least until that human being gets to be a certain age, and a lot of us moms don't feel comfortable expressing our true feelings about motherhood. And I want that particular podcast to not only look at the bright sides, but look at the dark sides and get very real and very gritty of it, on it. So that's not the focus of this particular podcast, but I do want to say at this point in time, now that I've grown and I've matured personally, I have been able to find a lot more joy in motherhood. And that is a separate issue from actually loving your children. And again, I'll get into that on the podcast. But I am grateful to have had that experience. I feel as though motherhood makes me stronger as a person, as a creative, as a businesswoman. It has made me, as much as children cost, it has made me stronger financially. It has made me stronger in terms of trying to build out and set up a future for myself and my child. It's forced me to think about things that I probably would not have considered as a single childless woman, like rebuilding credit, for example, or investing in certain, stock investments or mutual funds or things like that, like setting up a nest egg, setting up a future for my daughter where she doesn't have to struggle, just things that we should actually just be doing for ourselves anyway. Being a mom has forced me to think more about those things, not only for myself, but mostly for my child. So motherhood has been difficult and has been challenging, and I definitely struggled for, I would say, like the first 2 years were probably like the darkest years I've had in a long time in terms of not just life and other things, but in terms of coming into my identity as a mother. But literally post 2016, I was able to finally strike a balance, even if it were a shaky balance. I was able to strike one. It's like a fly just bugging me around here. I was able to strike a really great balance and just bloom and blossom. And anyway, so again, that's for another podcast, but that's another thing that I'm grateful for. My professional career and my creative growth has been extremely blessed this past year. I think literally around this time last year, I was still struggling with, how do I say it? Issues of creative isolation. I think I actually recorded 2 or 3 podcasts in 2017, from 2016 to 2017, about creative isolation and feeling loneliness and feeling alone. And to a certain degree, I still struggle with that, but not nearly as much. I mean, whereas the issue was a huge issue for me, in 2016 to 2017, that pretty much is like the lowest priority on my list right now. Sorry, I'm looking kind of crazy on the vlog because there's this, I don't know, there's like a weird sort of genus of fly here that doesn't do anything. It doesn't bite you. It doesn't burrow into your soul or into like your ears and lay larvae or whatever. But it's just extremely annoying, and it will get in your face and not do anything but get in your face. So that's what you were seeing just now. Anyway, gosh, and they're extremely hard to get rid of, honestly. But let's move on. Don't worry about my little my little fly troubles. The creative isolation thing does not take up nearly as much time, energy, mind space, or heart space as it was a year ago. Like, not even close. And that's because to a certain extent, I don't know if I've really found a community, because I'm not super close with most people here in Tucson. I'm just being real. I'm not like being snooty or condescending. It's just the fact. I literally have like one really, really close friend here, a few acquaintances who I don't really hang out with, some faculty, and like one mentor that I'm pretty close with. And the other faculty are great, but like they're more there to like guide my professional and educational career, and less so as like people I can like lean on in emergency times. So the size of my community hasn't changed, but I think the way that I relate to the people around me and the way that I relate to myself and to my career has changed. I think the size of my virtual community has definitely changed. I think this time in 2017, I was literally just launching, full on just launching New Adult Noir. I had spent the month of May 2017 building up the website and all the things it was going to do, and setting up the business and everything like that, setting up my giveaway structures and all of that. And then in June is when I launched, and I started really getting into networking online with authors and other artists, and basically trying to collaborate and find friends. And I found a lot of friends. I found a lot of great people that I like to collaborate with. And I was able to, for that entire second half of 2017, really take New Adult Noir to new heights, but also take my author networking to new heights, and also take my business networking to new heights. I have a really great relationship right now with InstaFreebie, which I'm really excited about and happy about. And even though the New Adult Noir brand has taken a break for the past 6 months, which we'll get back on running as of this July, actually, with some small things. Even though we've taken a break for the past 6 months, those relationships have continued on and have maintained momentum. And as a matter of fact, people that I've met through certain collaborations last year are literally the same people that I'm working with this year. And 2 out of the 3 authors with whom I co-wrote 2054, that anthology I was telling you guys about, I worked with and interacted with in some capacity last year. And together we were able to finally make the bestsellers list, which is amazing. It really is incredible. And so that was really exciting. And that's another thing that and I'll get into those creative achievements in just a minute. But, I have been able to, just to stick to the point, build up a community in a different way than I expected here while being here. But also the way that I relate to my community is so much more different, because I'm so involved personally in my own creative development, building up the Bohemian Badass, building up my business, building all these things together, that I don't know if I really have time really to sit around and think about how little of a community I have at the moment. And So yeah, basically I've just been pretty distracted is what I'm trying to say. But in a good way, in a really good way. Man, this fly is really doing the most. It's like it doesn't want to live, guys. It's like it wants to die. And it's tiny and it keeps landing on my screen and being crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, maybe this is like the way it's saying happy birthday. I don't know. Um, but I realized too that, how do I say it? Maybe I'm not really meant to join communities as much as I'm meant to build them, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily need to lead every single project that I'm on, and it would actually be nice to be able to take a break for a change while somebody else takes the reins. But I do notice that pretty much the people that I attract, or the people that I'm around, or what have you, um, with the exception of my author crew, big ups to all of you guys because we all seem to be actively like taking part in our own destinies, which is great. So JT, Jason, Yudha, if you guys are watching or listening, big ups. You guys really are just like leaders in your own right. I feel like we're all pretty much pulling our weight when it comes to like our creative endeavors together, which is excellent. But in most of my other situations, it's usually me taking the charge, me organizing things, me doing extra work to make sure that everybody else has a creative path or a path to follow or a protocol to follow. And so I'm thinking that maybe I was looking to follow last year, and this year I'm looking to lead, or I feel more comfortable and more natural in a leading position, way more than I did before. And I think that's a huge mark of creative growth, personally, and personal growth. So I think that's a big reason why I don't feel as creatively isolated, because I'm heading up like 5 different projects. I'm trying to finish Hollow Point, which I've been working on this week, guys. By the way, yes, I'm just trying to get that information and do it. It's coming out. It's coming along really well. I'm also trying to literally build up and launch, at least in a soft way, the Bohemian Badass as of August 1st. So that's taken up a lot of my time and mental energy, and it's been delightful. I've been loving every minute of it pretty much. I am also essentially, between my colleague and I, at least for the month of May and maybe about the first half of June, I was leading up the charge to basically teach us, myself included, the art of television writing and TV series development. And I was the one who was essentially gathering all the materials, putting together the syllabus, putting together the homework assignments, putting together everything. And now we're just working on that stuff. So I feel like I'm heading up that project. And then I have the Sandman feature film that I would like to actually start working on, if not the 1st of August or the first week of August, like mid-August, like right before I go back to school. Just speed write a shitty draft of that and finish it by the end of August. And then there's New Adult Noir to think about, just bringing it back in a more subtle, productive way until I can gain some more momentum. So there are a lot of things that I'm trying to do to build up Rebel Ragdoll LLC in all of its different subsidiaries. And I think now that I feel more comfortable and I've achieved a lot of milestones, I don't look as much to join a community. I figure if I want a community, I should probably just build one, right? So that's another thing that I'm grateful for, that growth. And then, of course, just professionally and creatively, just been killing it this past year. And sometimes when you're in the moment and you're busting your rump and and essentially you are doing all the things and drowning in all the things, it's hard to get a bird's eye view of all the things that you are achieving. And literally in the past year, from June 28th, 2017 to June 28th, 2018 today, like, you guys have been a part of this podcast for a while, at least most of you. For those of you who haven't been, you'll get a quick resume. But it's like, I've released a co-written book that just hit the bestsellers list for the first time. I'm a best-selling author. In the past year alone, I think I've directed one, two, three, three different theater productions. Actually, maybe four. I think three just in the past year. And then I have like the other two that occurred in 2016. Um, I've done that. I've dramaturged so many different plays and just developed my skills with feedback and constructive critique and, getting to know artists that I don't really know at all from a can of paint on the wall, just doing that. Just developing all these skills, like making new adult noir into a 5-figure business in just 6 months. That's crazy. Launching, getting ready to and preparing to launch the Bohemian Badass the way that it was supposed to be launched 3 years ago, but I'm doing that again this year. Just so many different. I mean, I had my first real directing experience from in terms of putting on a show, like a whole show from concept zero all the way to finished product with 3 other people. That was like for me major, wow, at having edited like 5 different short films in the past year. Just all these things that I've done creatively to grow as a person and as a professional. And a lot of these things are rough draft and first time. Having written a musical, a short one, even if it was a shitty one, I don't care. The thing is that all these things in their first iteration, are rough draft, first draft goes to give me the experience. But now I have not only the experience, but I also have the product and the IP that I can then go back later and hone and fix and smooth out, like all those short films that I have that I edited just to get the project done at that time. I saw my growth in during that entire project, but I also can now go back and now having a fresh pair of eyes, look at what I've done wrong, learn new skills and build that up even more. I can, start organizing my entire portfolio, which I'm going to do actually before the year's over. I made a list of all the stuff that I've done, but I need to actually put all of that media together on my website. And I've started actually doing that at the Bohemian Badass, and you guys will be able to see like a partial portfolio when we open, but it won't be the whole thing because there's like a lot I have to put on there. Just getting all those things together. And then I just have like a lot under my belt right now. And on top of it, like my precious, wonderful little one is literally 3 months away from her 4th year of being on this earth. And so just doing all of that while also getting a degree, being a teaching assistant, running a business, a few businesses, running a business, trying to build up a business, being a mom, and then also focusing on my personal growth, spiritually, physically, health-wise. I just am very proud of the progress that I've made, professionally. And then I guess gratitude number 5 would be like personally, right? Anyway, by the way, guys, FYI, you guys know that I'm like on my new health kick, lifestyle changes, which I think I can tighten up a little more. I don't know if I've gotten into a routine now, so it doesn't feel like I'm trying that hard, or if I'm just getting lazy. I'm not really sure what it is. I'm still doing all the things health-wise that I need to do, but in May it felt like such a major shift, and that I was working really, really hard to make this transition. And now I think I'm maybe, I don't want to say I've hit cruising altitude quite yet, but I feel more comfortable with the ways in which I prepare my meals, the ways in which I exercise, even though I feel like I can tighten up both areas a little more, even so. But FYI, just personally, like since then, I've built up a lot of muscle. Can you see? Look at my muscles, y'all. You can see. Yeah, you can actually see on the podcast or on the vlog my muscle. I did not have this before. I have not had this muscle since I was like 16. Let's keep it really real. My back is looking great too. and everything else actually. And on top of that, I have lost over 5 pounds in the past since I've started this thing, which is great. I mean, I'm just really excited about the changes that I'm making. I feel good. I feel like I look good. I'm getting rested. My self-care is getting on point. And even though everything is not where I necessarily want it to be, it probably never will be because I'm a perfectionist. Um, I'm still making progress on all levels of my life. And so these are all the gratitudes I wanted to just share, not just with you guys, but like with myself, so I can come back to this podcast next year and see, inshallah, how much growth I've made. Because this time next year, God willing, I will have already gotten my master's, my MFA in theater arts with a focus on generative dramaturgy, because today's June 28th. So we get awarded our degrees in May. So as of May 2019, June 2019, my birthday 2019, I will have had that, God willing. I will have reached all of my health goals and just spiritual goals, God willing. I will have published, I hope, at least another 4 to 5 books. That's my plan. Who knows if that's going to actually pop off. But I'm thinking that Hollow Point, The Haunt, and the first few books of the Hitman of Happily Ever After series will be published by then. Definitely we would have published, me and my author crew, we would have published another volume of 2054. And we'll be, this time next year, we will be working on the 3rd volume for release in the fall, and then the box set release towards Christmas of 2019. So that's a good 4 to 6 new properties that I hope to have out. I hopefully will have at least finished and polished a really bomb-ass draft of my first horror film, Sandman, and be positioned and poised to start actually making it, which I wanted to do while I was here because I think making a film in Tucson would be excellent. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that with my time constraints. I wasn't really aware of how constrained my time would be while I was here, which is fine, because what I do want to be done by this time next year is all the pre-production, the breaking down of the script, the finding locations and whatnot. And it's possible that I might come back to Tucson to actually shoot the film. But at this point in time, theoretically, inshallah, I'll also have already moved back to New York City, or New York rather, because I'm probably not going to live in the city. I'd like to, but I'm probably not going to. And so there are a lot of things that I expect to change between now and then. I hope that, things will go the way I want them to. But of course, like the way life takes us, we never know how things are going to go. And, God willing, I will be here this time next year giving you an even cooler update on things that are happening in my life, and the gratitudes that I have to share with the world. So those are the things that I'm really grateful for. My health, the health and the existence of the people around me, my wonderful daughter, my creative growth as a person and as a professional, both just educationally, professionally, the way that I've grown and matured into the idea of creative community and not being as creatively isolated as I thought. And then just having the power to create, guys, is something that I'm just super, super excited and amped about. Just having that mental capacity. I get frustrated at myself a lot because I have almost like 100 plus literally unique IP ideas on my project slate for Rebel Ragdoll Press alone. And I'm always afraid that I won't be around long enough. Not that there's anything wrong with me as far as I know, terminally or health-wise. But again, I'm always very aware of my own mortality and the fact that, things can happen at any point in time. And a small part of me is always afraid that, this entire project wall I have going on where you guys can't see will never come to fruition. I always have that sort of mini fear in the back of my mind and my spirit. But then I realized that I really do every single day go balls to the wall and go max hard on every single thing that I try to do. And everything that I can do, I do, and there's not really much more that I can do besides that. And it gives me progress and it helps me make progress and gets me results. And I can't push myself any farther than I'm already pushing myself. I mean, the only way to work any harder than I'm already working is to make like a clone of myself, which would actually be kind of baller if I could do that. I would have like a clone just to literally do all the adulting, one clone for, just working on novels, another clone just working on films. Anyway, my little dream life. But since that's not going to happen, I'm just going to have to be happy with the fact that I have to do everything myself and become an ultimate ninja master. So in any case, those are the things that I am grateful for, guys. And I hope that you guys on your new year, whether you're creative or not, whether you just stumbled across this channel because you Googled something and this caught your eye, I hope that you take some time every single day to assess all the things that you should be grateful for in your life. Just 5 things. And if you can't find 5 things, try to find 3 things. So that's all I have to say. That is my post, my little wow post for today. I'm going to be out. It was a little longer than I expected, but that's okay. It's my birthday. Happy birthday. I'm going to do something cool, like go get some yummy cashew ice cream. And I'm going to probably take a Lyft to get there because it's my birthday. I'm not fucking taking a hot-ass bus. I'm going to take a Lyft. Yes, 2 miles away. I don't care. In any case, I will talk to you guys soon. Rock on, read on, stay indie, stay badass, stay creative. And I will talk to you guys on Monday with an actual weekly update as to what I've been doing this past week. Bye.